because I gotta stop in a minute. Ready? Good morning. Thank you for joining me. My name is Cindy Fabico, if you're not familiar with me, and I am a yoga teacher, and I'm also a licensed mental health counselor and a licensed marriage and family therapist here in Orlando, Florida. And so I'm really glad to have you with me here. And so today we're just going to do a 30-minute breath and stretching meditation. It's going to be real simple, real calming, and just a great way to get your Sunday morning going. And by the way, what do you have planned for this Sunday? I'm going to go with my friend Michelle, who's right here. She and I are going to go on a bike ride over to Baldwin Park, which is this really nice area in Orlando. There's a lake there. We're going to walk around the lake, and then we're going to bike back. So that sounds like a great way to end the weekend. So I hope you will join this practice. And here we go. So just what we're going to start out with, if you have something like a block, that would be great. If you don't, that's fine too. Also, I have a rolled blanket here. I like to use a rolled blanket under my hips. Hey, Maho. And I place it under my hips, and that way it really helps me open up my my hips, because at my age, I'm 58, it makes it just a little bit easier for me to kind of ground and center myself. So before we get started, I just want to talk a little bit, just very briefly, about why meditation and breath are so important. As a licensed mental health counselor, I have a lot of people who come to my office, and they talk to me about how they are very reactive to others. And so when we're reactive to others, we are not really in charge of our nervous system. So our parasympathetic nervous system is the part of our nervous system that's rest and digest. And by doing a practice like breath and meditation, we start to teach our body how to be calming, how to calm itself. And so that's why it's such a good practice. The other thing is that we have this other part of our nervous system. It's called the sympathetic nervous system. And the sympathetic nervous system is the part that's like fight, fly, freeze. Or I was just listening to this book by Terry Real. He's a kind of famous marriage counselor. And he, instead of saying fight, flight, or freeze, he says fight, flight, or fix. And I think that's really interesting, because if you think about your relationships, there is often somebody who's trying to fix us when we have a strong emotion, and their need to fix us is generally their discomfort with emotion. So before we get started, I am just going to do something really quick out of this book that I read from every day. It's called Meditations from the Mat. And in Meditations from the Mat, I just kind of get a little bit of motivation for each day. And so this reading starts out with a quote by somebody named Stephen Batchelor. And what he says is, the first step in this process of mindful awareness is radical self-acceptance. And radical self-acceptance is something where we just totally and completely accept ourselves as we are. And I think that if we could all learn to do that, the world would be a better place. Just one other little reference. This book called Buddha's Brain it's by Rick Hanson, and he is a psychologist, and the I don't know what the word is. It's under thing is the practical science of happiness, love, and wisdom. And it really walks you through all this sympathetic, parasympathetic, all these things that I was talking about. So come to seated on your mat. If you would like to have a blanket, go ahead and get that. Hands gently rested on your knees. You can have your palms up, and with your palms up, you're going to be receiving universal energy. If you place your palms down, you're going to be grounding that energy into yourself and into the universe. And if you have one palm up and one palm down, you're receiving and grounding at the same time. So choose whichever one you would like, and we're going to start out with just some little breath education, let's call it that. And so in yoga breathing, what we do is we always breathe in through our nose and out through our nose. And the reason that we do that is because it helps us to be focused. It helps us focus inward, it helps us calm ourselves, and it helps us to be aware. We also breathe with sound, and the way that you do that, it's sort of like an ocean sound. You probably heard it referred to before if you go to a yoga class. And it's, as you breathe in, you kind of restrict your throat. So I'm just going to do a little example of that. So I'm going to do it really loud. You don't have to do it as loud, but if you choose to, you can. So maybe you can hear me, maybe you won't, but here we go. I can just do one more. So I'm restricting my throat, and it allows the breath to come out in just a little bit of a different way. So back to where we were, hands on our knees, either up, down, or one up and one down. Gently close your eyes and just begin to focus inward. And we're going to start breathing, and we're going to do, as we start, we're going to do 4 counts in. We're going to hold it at the top, and then we're going to do 4 counts out. So here we go. Breathing in through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. And exhale through the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. And exhale through the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhaling. 4, 3, 2, 1. So go ahead and continue that on your own while I talk to you just a little bit about what's helpful when you're doing this kind of breathing with your eyes closed. When you're breathing here, what I want you to do is just try to make sure that you're sitting up very straight, very tall, crown of your head shining up to the sky, focusing inward and not attaching to any thought. So our brains are thought-making machines. So often people think that breath and meditation, that the purpose is to stop the thoughts. And you know what? That's patently impossible. So instead, what we're trying to do is we're trying to breathe in, and as any thoughts arise, we're just trying to not attach to those thoughts. We're just trying to let those thoughts kind of float off. A good image is to imagine like a thought bubble kind of like floating away. Those thoughts like slowly floating away. And the purpose of not attaching to a thought is so that you don't create a story, right? That's where the anxiety comes in. That's where the depression comes in, is we have these thoughts, these random thoughts about all kinds of crazy things, quite honestly. And when we attach to those thoughts, then we have a tendency to begin to fall into that anxiety. Heart starts beating fast, stomach starts tightening, back starts hurting. Like all these things are what happen. So I'm hoping that you're still breathing. So just continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. This is a great way to start Sunday. In through your nose and out through your nose. Just about 5 more of those. Breathing in and breathing out. 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 One more time. Breathing in and breathing out. Go ahead and flutter those eyes open. And we're going to do one more kind of breath. It's called alternate nostril breathing, and it further helps us to calm our bodies and center ourselves. So go ahead and take your right hand, fold down your 3 fingers, leaving your thumb and your pinky finger up. And we're going to breathe in through both of our nostrils. So go ahead and inhale on. Oh, by the way, I'm going to tell you one more thing. We're going to inhale for 4, but we're going to exhale for 8. So that even further calms you. So in for 4, out for 8. And when we breathe in initially through both nostrils, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'll show you. So go ahead and watch, and then you can close your eyes. Okay, so breathing in through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. With your thumb, close off that right nostril, exhale through the left, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, inhale through the left, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. With your pinky finger, close off that left nostril, open up the right, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close it off. Exhale through the left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close it off and exhale. Go ahead and do this on your own. Inhale. Close. Exhale. Close. Oh no, inhale. Inhale. Close. Exhale. Inhale. Close. Exhale. Inhale. close, exhale. I'm going to do two more. Inhale, close, exhale. Inhale, close, exhale. One more. Inhale, close, exhale. We're at the finish line. Inhale, close, and exhale. Go ahead and float that hand down. Place it on your lap. And we're just going to start to move very gently, very slowly. So, I've got to move this out of my way. That's blocking me. So, we're going to start out with our hands, and we're going to just slowly raise our arms up above our head. Look up. Bring your hands slowly down to heart center. And on the inhale, we're going up. And on the exhale, we're coming down. Inhale. And exhale. You can have your eyes closed here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. So go ahead and take that right hand and kind of walk it out beside you. Kind of plant your palm, or you can tent your fingers, whatever works best for you. Take that left hand and we're just going to sweep it up, and then we're going to bend over to the right, and you're going to feel that up your side. And we're just going to breathe here. You can bounce a little if you want, but don't overstretch. It's not, the goal here is not to get as far over as you can. It's just to stretch out that side body. So just a couple more breaths here. And then sweep that right hand up to meet the left. Sweep that left hand down, folding over. Coming up, sweeping up, back to the other side. Up, back to the other side. Coming back up, hands to heart center, hands to your side. Now we're going to take our left hand and we're going to put it over on our right knee, and we're going to stretch that back out, because if you're like me, my back's getting a little sore here. Keep that crown of the head reaching up. Looking over your back shoulder or off to the side, whichever way your range of motion allows you. Breathe here. And then take that right hand, sweep it over to that left knee, turning back and breathing here. Sweeping that left hand around to the knee, sweeping around to the other side. that hand back around, over to the other side. Coming back to center, hands at your chest. Let's just do another one of those sweeping motions up, looking up, and bringing those hands to heart center. How you doing so far? Only got 10 minutes left. So, thank yourself for being here. And what we're going to do next is we're going to move to our hands and knees because my back is hurting. I need to get off of my seat. So, let's just go ahead and come to hands and knees. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see me. I just want to make sure that, I like to have, oops, Ganesh, move a little bit, baby. I like to have a blanket under my knees so that I can, whoops, going the wrong way, sorry. So that I can, so it helps my knees. So we're going to plant our hands, plant our knees. So our shoulders are directly under our spine, our shoulders, and our knees are directly under our hips. And we're gonna push our tailbone back so that our back is flat. See how my back is flat here? And then we're going to inhale. We're gonna push into our palms and float in, dropping our tailbone. That feels really good on my back. And then we're gonna exhale and drop our belly, shine our chest forward, raise our tailbone. And we're going to inhale, rising up. And we're going to exhale, folding in. A couple more of those. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. I'm going to come back to center, to face you forward so you can see what I'm going to do next, but you can go ahead and stay as you are. So now, on my hands and knees, just as we were, I'm going to just walk my hands a little bit forward. And then we're just going to roll our hips around. And we're going to go all the way back and then all the way around. Oh my gosh, that feels so good on my back and on my legs. Just inhaling and exhaling at whatever pace works for you. Just moving that body. Getting yourself moving this morning. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's reverse the direction, going the other way. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our feet and turn our toes under. So we're going to turn our toes under. We're going to stay on our knees. We're going to raise up. So here we are. We're up on our knees. I'm just going to go back just a little bit. And then we're going to bring our hands in front of us, straight out. And then we are going to just go back and forward. Back and forward. Back and forward. Back and forward, back and forward. We're stretching out those front of our legs. Back and forward, back and forward. Now, bring your hands to your waist, and we're just going to do some gentle, so we're actually going to have you take your arms like this, and we're just going to float our hands back and forth. Just inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. inhaling, and exhaling. And then I don't know, I don't think you need to reverse the direction on this. Well, maybe you do. I can see that it feels a little bit different the other way. So now let's see. Anyway, just do this for a couple of times. Okay, slow that down. Bring your hands back to your waist. And we are going to move to our mat because, yeah, we only got like 5 minutes left. So we're just going to move down to our mat. And I am going to turn sideways so that you can see what I'm doing, but you can stay exactly as you are in your mat. I'm going to put my blanket down so that it will be under my head because we're just doing something very gentle. And if you have that block, grab that block now. We're going to do what's called a restorative bridge. So it's much gentler than a regular bridge. And so with your block this way or this way, whatever works for you, we're going to lie down on our back with our knees up. Okay, so our knees are up. We're lying down on our back, and we're just going to take that block. We're going to lift our hips, and we're going to place that block either this on the long way or the flat way, and we're just going to like rest here. The block is underneath your tailbone. Shoulders are planted on the ground. Feet are flat on the earth. Palms are up or down, and we're just breathing here. One more breath. Okay, go ahead and pull that block out. Float your hips down to the ground. Grab your knees, pull them in, rock and roll on your back, side to side. That also feels really good. We are going to raise our feet up. We're going to flex our feet so our heels are reaching towards the sky and our toes are pointing towards our face. Our shoulders are back and down. And then we're going to just raise those arms up. This is one of my favorite poses. It's called Sleeping Tiger. This is an inversion, and it reverses your blood flow and really helps to improve your circulation, drain your lymphatic system. So those heels are just floating up to the sky as if you were walking across the sky. But you don't need to walk. Just keep it like that and just breathe here. Okay, one more breath. Go ahead and bring those knees in. Pull them into your chest. Really squeeze them in. And then rock those knees over to the left. Slowly, trying to keep those shoulders grounded. Stretch those arms out like a letter T. Looking over your opposite palm and breathe here. One more breath.
Okay, hug those knees back in, squeeze them in, stretch those hands out, float those knees over, looking over that opposite palm. Okay, go ahead and hug those knees in. Lift that head up in the direction of your knees, so you're making yourself into a yoga ball or a ball of fire, let's just say that, because you've done this centering practice and now you're going to go out and take on that day. Okay, so now we're going to do Shavasana, the end of yoga. So go ahead and stretch out on your mat. I again like to have my blanket under my head. You do whatever you like, and just float back. Go ahead and just stretch your legs out, palms resting on the ground. This time it's a good idea to have your palms up so you can receive the energy of the universe as you center here, and just breathe. Let go of that measured breath and just breathe naturally. Maybe bringing to mind one thing that you need to forgive yourself for. Something that floats around in your brain, that comes up often. Just kind of let that fly away. Release it. Let it go. Tell it bye-bye. See you later. I don't need you. You don't serve me. And then, this is a little bit tougher, bring to mind somebody that you need to forgive. And you know what? If you're ready to forgive them or not, it doesn't matter. Let's just think about the idea of forgiving others. Try to feel a warmness in your heart. And just come to the realization that holding on to anger and resentment towards another is really hurting you. It does not in any way hurt that person. There's all kinds of sayings about this. If I tried to say it now, I'd fumble over it. So just think about the fact that there is no value whatsoever to holding on to anger and resentment towards others. And forgiveness does not mean acceptance of what was done. It does not mean you have to invite that person back into your life. If that person feels harmful to you, then go ahead and forgive them in your mind and create the necessary boundaries so that your life can be calm and relaxed. And just one more thing. Bring to mind now something that you're grateful for today. This does not need to be anything magnificent. I could be grateful for these beautiful birds singing. I could be grateful for having this lovely home where I can share this practice with you. Think about what you're grateful for and feel your heart swell up
try to really feel that gratitude in the center of your chest. Hold that feeling. Breathe into that feeling. Seal that feeling in. And finally, set an intention for your day today. How do you want your day to feel? When we set an intention, our unconscious mind holds on to that. And then when we start to move into other ways of being, it gently nudges us back. And when I say gently, I mean gently. No scolding yourself, no shaming yourself. Just, oh, I got off track there. Let me get back to where I was trying to be. Just one more little breath here. And then take those arms and raise them up behind your head, stretching out, stretching your toes out, maybe doing a little yawn. Maybe making a little sound. Hug those knees in. Float over to the right or the left into fetal position. Take a few breaths here. And then gently float back up. I don't know how you feel, but I feel just like so chilled out now. I feel calm. I feel peaceful. I feel ready for my day. So, take that intention, go out into your day, and make it a great day, yogis. Namaste. May the light in you reach out and touch the light in all you need.